Alright, hey, what up, gamers? Today we're going to be checking out how to survive in the chaparral, which is a type of land found in Southern California and the Mediterranean. It's like a desert meadow on a mountain. It's a real epic landscape. And don't take this seriously because there's a good chance you will die if you follow this guide. So here we can take a look at our first little savior, the yucca plant. So the yucca plant is this kind of big green spiky little doodad, and eating it is actually pretty good for you, because by cooking it, you can turn it into this weird tuber-looking thing. I don't really know how you get that from a green spiky plant, but apparently you do. And you also want to cook it, because eating it raw can kind of make your tummy hurt, which is the last thing you want in this scenario. You know, that's just another thing to take care of at this point. Now, why would you want to eat this? That's a good question that nobody asked. By cooking it, you can get 328 calories from it. Or if you're one of those hoity-toity fraction people, that's about 1/6 of your daily 2,000 calorie goal. And, you know, by looking at it, you might think, oh, that looks like, you know, something good to make a little lean-to shelter from, like this. Well, you don't want to do that, because they're pretty small, and that ain't gonna help you. You can't build anything out of them. They're flimsy and made of cellulose. Another weird thing that's probably gonna kill you is the Pacific poison oak, which you don't want, because, pictured on the left, it may look like a normal plant, but this thing is just straight up ghoulish. And that's because of the chemical that's on it, urushiol, which looks like that. And getting less than 50 micrograms of it on you, which is less than 1 grain of salt, can really mess your day up. Let's take a look at what happens. So here we have a normal human arm. Now, while it may look like a giant slab of rotten beef, there's actually some good practical use we can put up to it, which is showing the side effects of our friend the Pacific poison oak. So first, upon contact with it, you'll start to get red bumps form. And then your arm will get super itchy. And then, because you're not supposed to itch that, you'll start to get red itch lines forming. And then because you're not supposed to itch that, you'll start to have them bleed and get blisters. And over 3 to 4 weeks of this nonstop agony, finally you will get the sweet relief of hives forming. So yeah, none of that's good. And it can also be spread from clothing, skin-to-skin contact. It'll make your face swell up like a balloon, you'll start to get pus, and you'll get a severe headache. So yeah, none of this is fun. It all sucks. Now onto the superior animal, the goat. The goat is perfect for your survival scenario because it contains everything you need to survive. It checks off all the boxes. Let's take a look. So first of all, the goat can eat various different types of plants and shrubbery, so you can have it graze while you do whatever else, so it can be fed off of most plants. Next, goats are pretty dumb animals, so if you have a cage down, it'll go right in if you need to trap it. And another thing, they also produce milk because they're mammals, so you can have a delicious, nutritious snack to drink from while you and your hordes of unwashed crewmates get to await your hopeful rescue. Now, goats also reproduce like goats, probably because they're goats. And because they're also mammals, they have live births, meaning that they're only probably going to produce 1 goat at a time. 2 if you're lucky, but you know, we don't talk about luck here, because clearly if you're in a survival scenario, you don't have any. So, because they reproduce, you can continually breed them, so you can have more and more little goatlets running around. And because they're, you know, alive, they have meat in them, which you can roast over the fire for some nice goat steaks. And they also have fur on them, which you can shear off after you're done with them, and you can just kind of kill and slaughter them. And with their fur, you can provide warmth and little blankies for them, which is always fun. And my favorite is the stare of a goat. According to an article by NPR, the stare of a goat on a human is actually relatively relaxing for you, because when a goat does it, they stare at us because they either want attention or help, but we perceive it as just them being cute, which is the same reaction you would get out of like a dog or a cat or something, which is pretty amazing. You can boost the morale of your whole team just by having a goat exist. Now on to this goober, the California whip snake. So while the California whip snake isn't poisonous, it will mess your day up. So let's see what happens. If you do get bit by one, because they are pretty aggressive and pretty irritable, if you do get bit, now you have 2 holes in your arm, which is pretty susceptible to infection, which is probably what's going to kill you faster than anything else, even the Pacific poison oak, which is saying a lot. Now, another big thing is that, God forbid you do get bit by this thing, it can either bite a vein or an artery or something like that, and if that does happen, you'll die, because you can probably bleed out and die, because these things are pretty vicious. Alright, have fun, don't die.